Inside the largest honey essence factory, how bees create the foundation of premium skincare. When the gigantic steel doors of the world's largest honey essence factory slowly slide open, you don't smell machinery, heat, or industrial fumes. You smell nature. A warm, golden, almost floral scent, as if you've stepped straight into a wild forest during peak nectar season. But the real magic lies deeper inside, the place where billions of drops of raw honey are transformed into the luxurious skincare ingredients used by elite beauty brands worldwide. The journey begins far away from metal pipes and stainless steel tanks, in the quiet, sunlit apiaries where thousands of bee colonies are thriving. Each hive contains frames shimmering with amber honey. Worker bees return non-stop from distant flowers, carrying tiny drops of nectar that will become the building blocks of high-end honey essence. Their wings beat so fast they blur into invisible shadows as they hover, land, and begin the ancient process of converting nectar into honey. When the beekeepers lift each wooden frame, the honey glows under natural sunlight, thick, golden, and sealed with a thin layer of wax. This wax cap is the bee's way of protecting the honey once it reaches peak purity. These frames are loaded carefully into cold transport crates, then shipped to the massive processing plant. Once they arrive, technicians unload the frames and feed them into an automated wax removal chamber. Warm, precisely controlled air melts away the wax without harming the fragile enzymes and antioxidants in the honey. As the wax cap dissolves, honey begins to cascade down the frame, flowing into vibration-filtered channels. These channels lead to the first purification tanks, towering steel cylinders polished to a mirror finish. Under bright inspection lights, the honey swirls in perfect spirals, glowing like molten gold. This is the living stage of honey, full of natural compounds that can't survive harsh processing. Every movement from here must be gentle, controlled, and biologically precise. Meanwhile, in the adjacent laboratory, technicians work on propolis, royal jelly, and pollen extractions. Crude propolis is crushed into fine particulate, then soaked in biosolvents to release its antimicrobial actives. Royal jelly, thick, pearly white, is homogenized until it becomes a silky cream. Pollen granules are dehydrated and micronized into a powder rich in amino acids. Every ingredient from the hive is treated like a precious treasure. Now comes the phase that beauty companies call the transformation, the blending and concentration of honey essence. Giant industrial mixers, fitted with slow, sweeping blades, combine honey, propolis extract, royal jelly concentrate, and pollen essence. The ratios are strictly controlled and often kept secret. Some luxury brands sign multi-year contracts just to secure a consistent supply of this mixture. In the low-pressure evaporation chambers, the mixture is heated gently at reduced atmospheric pressure. This allows water to evaporate at unusually low temperatures, preserving enzymes, flavonoids, and antioxidants. A warm vapor rises and curls softly into the air, a fragrant, honey-scented mist that feels almost magical to witness. Once thickened to an exact viscosity, the mixture enters the freeze-drying vaults. Inside these icy chambers, the temperature drops rapidly, turning the honey essence into a solid. Then, powerful vacuums draw out the remaining moisture, leaving behind delicate sheets of honey essence crystals. These crystals are ground into ultra-fine powder, light as gold dust, incredibly potent, and stable enough to be shipped worldwide. Each batch goes through 7 rigorous tests: moisture content, particle size, color, solubility, bioactivity, aroma profile, and stability under heat and UV. One failure, and the entire batch, sometimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, is rejected. That's how strict the industry is when supplying raw materials for top-tier Japanese, Korean, and European skincare lines. After passing inspection, the powder flows into the robotic packaging line. Amber-colored jars, designed to block UV light, slide along the conveyor belt. Precision nozzles fill each jar to the exact milligram. Robotic arms seal each container, print traceability codes, and neatly stack the finished units into shipping crates. Everything is automated, flawless, efficient. But the final step happens in the light chamber, a room where spectral scanners shine controlled beams through the jars. As the light hits the honey essence, it glows with a soft golden brilliance, a sign of purity, uniformity, and successful crystallization. Watching them illuminated like tiny suns is nothing short of surreal. From the observation deck above the production floor, the entire system looks like a perfectly orchestrated ecosystem. The bees gathering nectar, the beekeepers harvesting frames, the technicians refining extracts, the scientists analyzing compounds, and the robots packaging the final essence. Thousands of individuals across nature, agriculture, science, and engineering all contribute to a product that begins with a single drop of nectar carried home by a tiny bee. And that's the true power of honey essence. It isn't just a beauty ingredient. It's a story of nature amplified by technology, of precision layered over purity, of billions of tiny wing beats culminating in one of the most prized skincare ingredients on Earth. A golden thread connecting the wild forest to the glowing jar on your vanity, and every step between those two worlds.
conveyor. Make sure the labels are facing out.
The density reading is confirmed.
Good. The
clarity and color grading meet the criteria, we can sign off on this batch.